We are watching shares of Intuit, the parent company of brands, including TurboTax and QuickBooks. Shares there are down about 2.4%. On the back of its second quarter earnings, the company missed estimates on earnings per share, while revenue came in line. But Intuit seeing solid year-over-year growth following the acquisitions of both Credit Karma and MailChimp. Here to break it down all for us is the CEO of Intuit. We've got Sasan Goodarzi joining alongside our very own Brian Sozzi. Sasan, it's good to talk to you today. I want to see if we can move the conversation forward because you did reiterate your guidance for the fiscal year. You actually guided higher on the quarter. Seems like the stock is moving on the back of the latest report, but I wonder how you see the momentum shifting as we go into the height of tax season.
Yeah, sure. Well, first of all, good morning. Thank you so much for having me. In context of your question, first of all, we reiterated the guidance for the year, which we actually raised in the first quarter. And what we reiterated was that we would grow revenues 26 to 28%. And we have great momentum across the company. In fact, in Credit Karma and small business, we had record quarters. And really what we saw in the second quarter is just a shift of tax revenue. And it's primarily because consumers are just filing their taxes a little bit later in tax season. This has actually been, really happening for the last, 10 years. And the great news is everybody will file their taxes by April the 18th. So it is simply a shift. And based on our early analysis, we are actually taking share, which we expect to take share. So we feel very good about the momentum across every segment of the company.
Sasan, Brian here. This is the second straight quarter. I would say I heard you guys talk more about what you're doing for investors, helping them file returns or what other services that might need. Have you thought about building out a trading platform or acquiring one? We both know you've been very acquisitive the past 2 years.
Well, yes. Well, first and foremost, you're absolutely right. We actually, about 3 years ago, before the significant increase in a number of just digital natives that are doing trading on their own across the globe, and of course, a huge piece of that is also crypto, we really decided to declare this as a focus area and revamp our experiences and ultimately ensure that we have the right experts that can help those that invest, especially at tax time and then over time, with financial advice. With respect to, trading capabilities, for us, what's most important is truly our mission around powering prosperity around the world. We want to be thoughtful that if we enable trading capabilities, that in no way, shape, or form do we enable what may seem sometime like gambling with your money, especially with crypto assets. And so there are so many trading capabilities that are out there. And so we're always thinking about, do we do it through partnership? Does it need to be on our platform? Or do we really just help people with understanding not only advice on how to think about investing, but also ensuring that we are there for them throughout the year and particularly at tax time. So it's something that we're continuing to think about. But the thing we want to stay away from is really people playing with their money. What we're really focused on is ensuring that people are educated and to make good decisions to really power their prosperity and enable their financial freedom. Education on this topic is really important.
Hey, it's Brian Chung here. I want to shift to other brands that are a part of your holdings now. MailChimp, obviously a big focus. You were talking on the earnings call about acceleration priorities with MailChimp, which could involve integration with other brands like, for example, QuickBooks. Can you tell me a little bit more about that?
Yeah, absolutely. First I'll start with the small business customer. What's most important to them, two of their biggest needs are one, being able to find and keep customers. And the second is really cash flow. Those two reasons are why 50% of small businesses actually go out of business after 5 years. And so we ultimately want to reverse that. By the way, if you're on our platform, we actually increase the success rate of that by about 20 points. And so the whole nature of MailChimp is we want in one place for a small business to be able to grow their business and to be able to run their business. So what that means is really helping them market their business, use our CRM capabilities to be able to manage their existing customers, be able to do experimentation online, which many small businesses can't do, but they can now with our platform. At the same time, give them the ability to be able to run their business, which is where all the QuickBooks capabilities come in. And so we are working to integrate the platforms. So MailChimp and QuickBooks capabilities are really serve as one for small businesses so we can fuel their success. And that's really where the acceleration priorities that you mentioned come in. We have three of them. One, it's to create a growth platform. Two, it's actually to go up to mid-market to serve small businesses between 10 to 100 employees. And then international, 50% of MailChimp's customers and revenues outside of the US, they have a wonderful self-serve platform, but they've not actually invested a lot internationally. And we believe that's an area where we can double down. So those are the three priorities where we believe it will serve as fueling the success of small businesses and ultimately the growth for the company.
Let's talk about back to tax season, because we had a guest on yesterday who was talking about just how constrained the IRS is right now. I think his words was that he hasn't seen it this bad in many, many years. I wonder how you're looking at that, the potential for delays, and what does that ultimately mean from Intuit's perspective? Certainly a lot of Americans are going to be going on using your software to file. What do you see on that front? In what's the impact to your company?
Well, first and foremost, we truly focus on owning the whole experience for consumers, which means we have a very close partnership with the IRS, just to ensure that at the end of the day, the customer can get their maximum refund, get it on time, and understand all their deductions. And so one is just a close partnership with the IRS. I would say two, you're absolutely right. The IRS has been, really overwhelmed to try to serve consumers, both from an administration perspective of the refund or collecting money, but also now they've had to shift to becoming a benefits administrator. When you think about the stimulus checks, when you think about child tax credit, that puts a lot more pressure on the infrastructure of the IRS. And then having to do all of that while they had to work virtually is just very, very tough. So we've just really doubled down on ensuring that our customers understand how to get their taxes done if they choose to do it themselves. If they choose to have access to experts on our TurboTax Live platform, making sure we have experts that can really help them understand the nuances of the child tax credit or how the stimulus checks plays into their, to their tax refund, or if they have to, ultimately owe money. And so we've just really doubled down on our experiences and high communication. We've invested a lot of not only automating communication, but also making sure our experts are there to help them, just to make the experience as smooth as possible for the customers. I mean, other than potentially more contacts by customers, if they don't understand where their refund is, we don't see much implication to our company beyond that, but we're really focused on the customer and really ensuring that their experience can be as smooth as possible.
Yeah, and a reminder to get your taxes done. That day is fast approaching. It's almost March already. Sasan Goodarzi, Intuit CEO. Thanks so much for stopping by.